Welcome to Benton, Louisiana. Nick Brown along with Toby Nations, and we are underway. Jackson Lee, the leadoff hitter for the Bearcats, has doubled against the 31-3 Benton Tigers and the 25-11 Ruston Bearcats. It's the second round of the playoffs. Now to bat for the Bearcats, a shortstop, Peyton Martin, and a sold-out crowd here in Benton. Appreciate you joining us on Q94.1 in the Wood Marines broadcast booth, just a little bit south of the Bearcat third base dugout. Nick Brown and Toby Nations. And Toby, the Bearcats started right with Jackson Lee with a leadoff double.
Yeah, really aggressive at the plate by Jackson Lee, and to get things started, I mean, it's a hostile crowd on both sides. I mean, you got a sea of red and a sea of black, and it's going to be fun to watch tonight, Nick.
And Martin flies out to the third baseman. So Jackson Lee going to stay at second. 31-3 are the Benton Tigers. If you're wondering who those three losses have been to, we like to compare scores. St. Louis Catholic, West Monroe, and Natchitoches Central. Of course, the Bearcats defeated Natchitoches Central earlier in the year. Played West Monroe in a three-game series, losing all three. Played St. Louis Catholic several years ago over at Louisiana Tech in the state playoffs. Now, here's one out, runner at second. Now batting for the Bearcats is Jake Simmons. Talk with head coach Brian Beck, and really Bearcats want to be aggressive at the plate. Nothing new. That is the MO for the Ruston Bearcats.
Yeah, the Thomas Allen, the pitcher for the Benton Tigers, I believe he's committed to ULM. He's just a good hard throwing right-handed pitcher.
It just swung and fouled off out of play. So 0-2 the count to Jake Simmons. Playing first base today for the Bearcats. We'll get you those starting lineups in just a minute here in the second round of the playoffs. Of course, Benton had a bye. Bearcats took the first two versus Hanville to advance to this second round. Look down in second, not much of a lead. Great pickoff move from Allen.
And you're always curious, too, Nick. I mean, is it a good thing in the baseball playoffs to have a bye? Is it a good thing, to go ahead and play? I mean, are you going to be rusty? I mean, so I know they had some warm-up games this week. Benton did, so just curious to see how Benton comes out here.
1-2 the count to Jake Simmons. Playing first base today for the Bearcats. Hits that one deep into the outfield. Is it going to be in the gap? And it is caught by the center fielder, and almost a base-running blunder. Is Lee going to make it into third base? And he does. The throw comes in away, but Simmons nearly burns him. Great play by the center fielder for the Benton Tigers. That's Cannon Greer. Chased that one down against the wall. In case you're wondering, 325 in right field, 365 dead center field, and 325 down the left field line. Now it's going to take a two-out hit from third baseman Nolan Parnell, now batting for the Bearcats in the cleanup position. So two down here in the top of the first. There is no score. Bearcats have a runner on third. That is Jackson Lee.
And I tell you, Nick, that's a good sign so far. I mean, the kids are hitting Allen here so far. So a good sign for the Bearcats, being aggressive at the plate.
I was down the middle, called for a strike. Toby, look at it. Really surprised that Brian Beck didn't call a bunt on Peyton Martin. But that's one the other day when Peyton Martin was called on to bunt, had to substitute Jackson Burrows in to try and get the bunt down. That one's fouled off for an 0-2 count. Parnell down on the count now, 0-2 to Allen, pitcher for the Benton Tigers.
Yeah, what a great atmosphere. I mean, it's full. I know Coach Frazier brought a whole busload of kids from Ruston High School over. I think he had 48, so.
That one fouled off, and that's one thing that's unique, Toby, and you've seen it through your years at Ruston High. You're a graduate. It's not a bunch of individuals. Everyone's supporting the cause. A lot of football players saw Darius James and Monty Dean making their way into the crowd. Everyone supporting one another here, cheering on the Ruston Bearcats. Swinging a miss, going to strike out Parnell. And that's going to be it for the Bearcats. The Bearcats pick up no runs on one hit. One runner is left on base. We played half of an inning, and there is no score from Benton. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're listening to Bearcat Baseball from the Wood Marine broadcast booth on Q94.1.
Step into the winner's circle with a John Deere tractor from Goldman Equipment. Shop North and Central Louisiana's largest John Deere dealer. Goldman Equipment. We're not just in your field, we're in your backyard. Thank you for calling Goldman Equipment. How can I help you?
Headquartered in Ruston, Louisiana, HGA is a full-service project management and engineering services firm providing professional services to clients throughout the U.S. and overseas. HGA builds long-term client relationships by listening to clients, leveraging the experience of its professionals.
To Benton High School, beautiful campus here at Benton. But I go over the starting lineups for the Bearcats at the defense. In left field is J.P. Moak. In center field is Jay Lee. In right field, Carter Love. Over at third base is Nolan Parnell. At shortstop, Peyton Martin. At second base tonight, Hudson Wood. And over at first, Jake Simmons. On the mound, the senior left-hander, David Greep. And catching today, Lander Smith. So that's the defense for the Ruston Bearcats here in this second round. And Toby, just a great crowd on hand tonight. And this is the environment. When you go to high school, the Bearcats missed out on the playoffs last year. And in first year of head coach Brian Beck, played in this environment. This is a big-time environment for high school baseball.
Yeah, what a great environment it is over here at Benton High School. I mean, they're in all blackout, got all their black on. Ruston fans are all red. I mean, everything is full over here. I mean, you've got lawn chairs 5 and 6 back from the back of the fence. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And, David Greep, the ace for the Bearcats, he leads with 210 batters faced and 56 strikeouts so far this year.
Leading off tonight for the Benton Tigers is the shortstop, Case Jordan, right-handed hitter, jersey number 6, and it is a blackout here in Benton. Nick Brown and Toby Nations, the first pitch from Greep. Looked good, missed just a little bit outside. 1-0 the count to Case Jordan. Jordan's just a junior, and he rips that one. Moak's going back, and that one's out of here. So Benton takes an early 1-0 lead. Case Jordan wasted no time in going yard and is certainly taking his time, making his way around the bases as a leadoff hitter for the Benton Tigers. Hit a home run. Jordan is just a junior, plays third base and shortstop, playing shortstop tonight.
Yeah, Greep just kind of left that one over the plate, and he was able to drive it out of the ballpark, which gives Benton the 1-0 lead. So, this isn't a new area for the Bearcats having to fight from behind. So it's going to be a really good ball game tonight in here, Nick.
Absolutely it is. Now the left fielder, Hayden Millen, number 11, stepping in, left-handed hitter for the Benton Tigers, who now lead at 1-0. That one upstairs, 1-0. It's a big game when you have Robert Sumlin on the sidelines taking pictures.
Oh, yeah, Coach Sumlin. I've done many push-ups for him, Nick.
That pitch looked good. Good pitch from Greep. Senior left-hander settling in. 1-1 the count now to Hayden Milling.
And what's a lot of fun over here too tonight, Nick, is Walker is right behind us, probably about 60 feet, playing Benton and girls softball. So it makes for a big environment over here.
Yes, it does. That pitch in for a strike. 1-2. That's a good throwaway pitch. Evens the count at 2-2. I'll set the scene. They're sharing one concession stand, sharing the bathrooms, and it is a packed house here at Benton. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Greep. Looked good, but it's going to be a little bit outside for 3-2. So 3-2 the count to left fielder Hayden Milling. Nick Brown along with Toby Nations bringing you Bearcat Baseball on Q94.1 and the Bearcat Nation Network. Swing and a miss, and that's a good pitch from Greep. And Lander Smith a little fired up, fires that one into left field. Just want to let J.P. Moak touch it for a minute. And that's a lot of emotions in this game. Bearcats came out really hyped up, and, here's the deal. You got to set the scene. Didn't make the playoffs last year. Last time the Bearcats made the playoffs, went on the road, lost down in Destrehan, and these guys weren't a part of that. These guys are a young squad for Brian Beck in his first year.
Yeah,
now that swing and a miss, now batting third baseman Cole Snell.
Yeah, just a new territory for the Bearcats, and so far they've handled it pretty good. Beck's really worked them hard during the week, and, just really happy for how much they've accomplished so far this year.
Bearcats 25-11 on the year. Benton Tigers squad is 31-3. In the 3 losses to St. Louis Catholic, West Monroe and Natchitoches Central. So a common opponents of these two teams. That was hit over towards first base. I believe Jake Simmons going to make the play.
And that's the one thing we'll see tonight with David Greep on the mound, Nick. He's not really like Tyler Roach. He goes deep into the counts with the batters, but, stays around the strike zone pretty good for the Bearcats.
The thing about it, as a senior, not going to know that one run is not going to be the difference in this ball game. Now with 2 outs, stepping in the right fielder, Jackson Jones. A lot of left-handed hitters in this lineup for the Benton Tigers. Now entering that one, ball out of the strike zone. A lot of artificial noisemakers in the crowd tonight. Sometimes they enforce the rules, sometimes they don't. Tonight, not bothering them one bit as far as the umpires. A good-looking pitch from Greep.
Yeah, and this crew is from Alexandria area, Nick. They came up here to do this game, and it looks like they're going to let both sides, cowbells and bazoos or whatever you call those things. Sounds like a World Cup over there.
1-1, 1-2 now, swing and a miss. I think the important thing is for Greep to settle in after giving up the leadoff home run to Case Jordan, and that's where we are. Benton leads it 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. There are 2 outs, 1-2, count to Jones. Thought about it, and Lander's going to apply the tag. Check swing, going to ring him up. Blue's going to ring him up on the check swing. That's it for the Benton Tigers. But the Benton Tigers do strike first. They pick up 1 run on 1 hit. No runners left on base. We've played 1 inning. The score, Benton 1, Bearcats nothing, coming to bat in the top of the second. We'll be back in 60 seconds with more Bearcat baseball on Q94.1 and the Bearcat Nation Network.
Louisiana National Bank is the official bank of Ruston High Athletics. As a proud community partner and supporter of local education, we're excited to cheer on the Bearcats. Experience uncommon banking today at Louisiana National Bank. To learn more, visit ln.bank.
Hey, I'm Max, and I take pictures for the Bearcat Nation Network.
What's up? I'm Dickenzie, and I run camera 2.
Hey y'all, I'm Clayton, aka Sparky, and I run your high center camera for the Bearcat Nation Network.
Hi, I'm Joey, and I run camera for freshman and JV games.
What's up, Bearcat Nation? My name is Christian, and I'm a cameraman and host of Touchdown Talks.
Hi, I'm Josh Dalton, and I run the stream and replays for the Bearcat Nation Network.
I'm Carson Calhoun, and I'm the cameraman for freshman and JV games.
I'm Sebastian. I create graphics and run cameras for Bearcat Nation Network.
Hey, I'm Daniel, and I'm on the sidelines for Bearcat Nation Network.
What's up, Bearcat fans? I'm Tate, and I'm on the field with the wireless.
Hey, I'm Araja, class 2025. This is my 4th defining year with Bearcat Nation Network. You can find me at camera 2 or camera 3.
I'm Avery Madden. I'm the media coordinator, and I work in the press box running replays and music.
Pierce Lumber has all of your outdoor cooking and tailgate needs covered with the full line of Traeger grills, Big Green eggs, Blackstone griddles, and Yeti products. They have a great selection of wood pellets and seasonings from meat church to hardcore. With the Turtle Box speaker and smokeless solo stove, Pierce Lumber is everything you need for the ultimate outdoor experience. Located at 1032 Burgessville Road in Ruston, or check them out on Facebook or Instagram.
Welcome back to Benton High School in Benton, Louisiana, as the Benton Tigers lead the Ruston Bearcats in this best-of-3 series. And the second round of the playoffs lead the Bearcats 1-0. Due up for the Bearcats in this inning will be Peyton Martin. I mentioned that Peyton Martin earlier. That was J.P. Moak that flied out earlier. But Peyton Martin, Hudson Wood, and Carter Love due up for the Bearcats tonight. Swing and a miss for Martin.
And you can see this so far, Nick, too. The Bearcats are really being aggressive, on this first pitch. So hopefully it can pay off as they continue tonight.
So here's a 0-1 pitch to Martin. Show bunt, that was in for a strike. So now Martin in the hole, 0-2. That's one thing reading the scouting report Brian Beck sent out and gave to his guys. You have to be aggressive against this squad. Allen a little bit outside, 1-2 now. And I tell me, we've seen a lot of pitchers work quick, but Allen working really quick on the mound for the Benton Tigers.
Yeah, he's really quick up there, and I guess, maybe trying to throw our guys off a little bit.
Oh, what a delayed strikeout by the home plate umpire. Going to ring Peyton Martin up, and that's going to be the first out here in the top of the second. Now batting for the Bearcats. The second baseman tonight, Hudson Wood, right-handed hitter for the Bearcats.
Yeah, we played Benton over here last year and beat them. I know we only had 11 wins last year, but Thomas Allen was one of those kids that, you know, they ejected him out of the game. There was some chirping between him and the dugout. So
that pitch a little low. I do notice several years ago, there's one thing some teams do is the Goldilocks on the Benton Tigers. I believe dyed their hair blonde against this second-round matchup. And we were talking earlier on the way over. That one's fouled off, and they even the count at 1-1. Is it better to have that break? The West Monroe the West Monroe Rebels season ended today after that break.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Houston, I know Cupid last night pitched a heck of a game. He had 13 strikeouts, but just, you know, had to win one today and one tomorrow, but just couldn't get it done. So Sam Houston eliminates West Monroe.
That pitch looked good. It's in for a strike. It'll be 1-2 to Hudson Woods, second baseman today for the Bearcats.
And you can see Thomas Allen. He's all over the strike zone.
That one's in for a ball. Going to even the count at 2-2. There is one out here in the top of the second. Bearcats do trail it 1-0 over the Benton Tigers. Nick Brown, Toby Nations, Colin McDonald doing a great job with stats for the Bearcat Nation Network. A Wood Marine broadcast booth. Probably if you're listening to us at the game, you can't see us. We're down the third base. We're down the left field line. The left field lounge today for Nick and Toby.
I'm telling you. Allen's thrown 19 pitches, 15 for strikes.
And that was going to be ball 4, but Wood swings and misses. So it's going to be 3-2. A strikeout. Going to be 2 outs for the Bearcats. Going to take them 2-out magic from Carter Love, right fielder today for the Bearcats.
And we've seen it all year, Nick. I mean, the Ruston High has done a really good job with 2-out hitting.
And that's one thing about it. You look at a 3-2 count here in the second round of the playoffs. Wood wants that one back, but you don't mind aggressiveness. Just swung at one that was probably just a little bit on the cusp of the strike zone, but you want to leave anything up for the umpires. They're not going to fault the kid for being aggressive. Now Carter Love steps in against Allen. 0-1 to count. Looks like Allen certainly has a big strike zone today. Third baseman looking over here at the Bearcat dugout. And you mentioned it earlier. It's a chirpy bunch over in Benton.
Yeah, and I know that Ruston will give it right back to them. So it's always fun to watch in a good atmosphere like this.
That bunt is fouled off, going to be a strike. So now 0-2 to Carter Love.
Yeah, you know, both these clubs know what's on the line, and I'm hoping they're going to fight it out pretty hard here in the next couple of days.
Benton's squad, though, Toby, really played at the 4A level for a lot. Really haven't done anything at the 5A level when you look at state championships. I know a few years ago came over to Ruston. I believe it was 56-16. The Bearcats defeated the Benton Tigers. And that's a swing. Oh, they're going to call it a foul ball. It's a new life for Carter Love.
Yeah, Benton was along with Sterlington also. It was one of the 2 largest growing high schools in the state of Louisiana. But everything over here is new. I mean, it's basically you don't know if you're going to come over here to go to school or bale hay, Nick.
A good-looking school, Benton High School. That's called strike 3. Going to be it for the Bearcats. Nothing doing. The Bearcats pick up no runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We played 1.5, and the Benton Tigers lead it 1-0 over the Ruston Bearcats. We'll be back to the Wood Marine broadcast booth, Q94.1 in the Bearcat Nation Network in 60 seconds.
Bayou Kubota is a proud sponsor of Bearcat football and a loyal member of the Bearcat Football Club. Visit Bayou Kubota for all your tractor and farm equipment needs. Bayou Kubota, service with a purpose in Ruston, Bossier City, and Monroe.
Calling Bearcat Nation. This is Bill Hogan at Century Next Bank. Here we love our Bearcats, and we know there's no team like our home team. Remember, when you bank with us, you bank with locals. And that's a win for our community. Go Bearcats.
Welcome back to Benton High School, Benton, Louisiana. Second round of the playoffs at the Ruston Bearcats Facing the Benton Tigers, currently trail the Benton Tigers 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Batting for Benton will be the catcher, Griffin Sibley, big right-hander for the Tigers.
Yeah, and so far, Greep, like we talked about earlier, I mean, he'll go deep in the count on the batters, and, but it's just been a really good arm for the Bearcats this year.
That one fouled off. Nice. Oh, boy, Kern made an error on that. Didn't see many make many errors when he was playing for the Bearcats. But you mentioned David Greep on the year, what he's been able to do on the mound for the Bearcats. Pitched in 46 innings. He appeared 11 times. He started 11 games. He's faced 210 batters, giving up 32 hits, 24 runs, 18 of them were earned, 30 base on balls, and 56 strikeouts. Only hit 5 guys on the year. So 2-1 the count to Griffin Sibley, catcher for the Benton Tigers. That one fouled off as well, and
yeah, Coach Alley didn't want to try that one, did he?
I don't know, and neither did Max Piles. We got to get those guys to make that play for the Bearcats. So now you make the play close to the dugout, less running you have to do. So a 2-2 count to Griffin Sibley. That one looked good, a little bit outside. Going to move the count to 3-2.
Yeah, nice-looking pitch by Greep. Missed just a little bit.
You know what's really amazing to me? You travel across this state. You play in a lot of different venues over the years. Certainly excited to be here in the second round of the playoffs over at Benton. That one's fouled off, but it's amazing that the point of emphasis changes. Like the other day versus West Monroe, the Bearcats couldn't be out on the field watching West Monroe warm up.
Yeah.
But yet the last two play against Honville and tonight against Benton. And then the artificial noisemakers, it was added to Ruston High. The Circle K strikeout was deemed to be illegal. You couldn't do that. But now you've got kazoos and air horns.
Yeah.
Playoff atmosphere, 3-2. Not just playoff atmosphere, just a great atmosphere for the playoffs here in Benton. That one a little low, going to be ball 4. Going to put Griffin Sibley down on first base. Let's see if the Sibley runs or no. The courtesy runner is going to come out for the Benton Tigers. Great day to be a hairdresser in Benton, Louisiana, as all the Goldilocks and the Benton Tiger dugout. Toby, if you can get that number for us. Couldn't see the number of the courtesy runner, but going to bring up number 10, Colton Birdsong. He's a designated hitter for the Benton Tigers.
I'm sure he's got blonde hair, Nick. I can see that from here, but I can't see the number.
Nolan Parnell down at third base. Peyton Martin at shortstop. Hudson Wood over at second, down at first, and Jake Simmons. And there's the token throw over from Greep just to keep him close. Wasn't really trying to pick him off. Benton leads this game 1-0. A leadoff home run for Case Jordan.
Yeah, it looks like so much blonde hair over there. Paul Mitchell's stock went up a little bit, Nick. I mean, that's what they're using.
And there's a stolen base attempt. Lander going to throw down. Ball's going to get into the outfield. The runner's in safely for the Benton Tigers. And that's one thing about this team. Reading the scouting report, very similar characteristics to the Ruston Bearcats. They're going to make you make plays. They're going to force steal bases. They're going to play base to base, station to station. And certainly stole that base, did the courtesy runner. I believe that was Ryden McCormick stealing the base for the Benton Tigers. That pitch was a ball. So 1-0 to Colton Birdsong, the designated hitter for the Tigers. Birdsong shows bunt and fouls that one off. Going to be 1-1 the count. And that's interesting. I like what Benton's able to do there. Again, reading the scouting report, they play station to station. Eerie similar are these teams. Bearcats set up the bunt defense. Nolan Parnell angled into the infield. This may be the most unique place for the Wood Marine broadcast booth. Shows bunt again, a pickoff throw to second base. This time a little better, trying to keep him close, keep him honest.
Yeah, you can already tell, Nick, the kind of chess match has started with the way Benton's running the bases and Coach Beck calling the defense.
So here's Birdsong. 1-1 count. That pitch looked good, just missed just a little bit inside. 2-1 the count to Colton Birdsall. Good thing is, if you go to Benton and have a daughter on the softball team and some on the baseball team, you can watch both sitting in the concession stand. That pitch looked good from Grebe. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, nice pitch by Grebe, right down the middle. A little bit low there. You know, I don't know if he could have done much with it if he tried to hit it, but 2-2 no less.
Good location for Grebe. Pick off to second base, back in safely. Interesting, Toby, you know, we've seen balks, and it's not going to be a radio jinx. We've seen balks the last 2 times out for the Bearcats.
Yeah, that's one thing this year the Bearcats have struggled with a little bit is, you know, balks. And they must be real subtle because it's been hard for us to see them from the booth.
Here's a 2-2 pitch to Birdsall. Hammond almost got away. Good job, Lander Smith, to corral that one. 3-2, full count for Colton Birdsall. There are no outs here in the top of the second. Runner on second base. Courtesy runner for the catcher, Griffin Sibley, who walked. So McCormick steals second base. Full count on Birdsall. A good pitch from Grebe. Diving effort by Simmons. Did he catch the ball? I'm going to say no, he did not. Foul ball out of play, but good job from Simmons over at first base.
Yeah, I believe we could have doubled up if he'd have caught that one, Nick. Good job by Simmons hustling.
A 3-2 count. We're going to do it again to Colton Birdsall, the designated hitter for the Benton Tigers. Nick Brown and Toby Nations in the Wood Marine broadcast booth, the outside edition of the Wood Marine broadcast booth. Fouls that one off. Birdsall lucky to get a piece of that one. Good-looking pitch from Grebe.
Yeah, Nick, we're definitely outside. We've got mosquitoes and foul balls from softball, and we already had to tell a couple of people standing around us, hey, watch for these foul balls from these baseball guys.
And that's going to be ball 4 upstairs, not even close. So Colton Birdsall going to make his way down to first base. Runners on first and second, both via base on balls.
Yeah, kind of eerie, similar start, you know, tonight by Grebe like we did against Hannibal. You know, no outs and had a couple of walks there. And, you know, we were down 2-0 in that game, and the Bearcats were able to come back and 10-run Hannibal. So, not making me nervous here.
Center fielder Cannon Greer now stepping in. Made a great play earlier in the top half of the first, but that's going to bring out the pitching coach for the Bearcats, Doc Wilkerson. Probably want to set the defense here for first and second with nobody out here in the bottom of the second. We're going to take a 60-second break. We'll be back in 60 seconds with more Bearcat baseball on Q94.1 and the Bearcat Nation Network. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Calling Bearcat Nation. This is Bill Hogan at Century Next Bank. Here we love our Bearcats, and we know there's no team like our home team. Remember, when you bank with us, you bank with the locals. And that's a win for our community. Go Bearcats. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I'm Christian Lewis from the Bearcat Nation Network. We are a student-operated broadcasting group dedicated to bringing quality entertainment through the streaming of Ruston High athletic events. We rely on donations from the community to keep our operations running. Please consider donating or purchasing an ad to keep the Bearcat Nation Network your source for Ruston High sports.
Dan and I started Cummins and Fitz in October of 2018. We were both practicing family law.
Well, the mound visit has ended, and stepping into the batter's box for the Benton Tigers with runners on first and second is the center fielder, Cannon Greer. Greer shows bunt. That one's in for a ball. 1-0 the count to Cannon Greer. There are no outs here in the bottom of the second. If you're just now joining us, Benton leads us 1-0 with a leadoff home run in the top of the first. Bearcats open the game with a double from Jackson Lee, but were unable to capitalize on it. There's a bunt popped up. See if Leonard can make a play. He does not. It is fair, and there's nothing you can do. Nolan Parnell was caught in no man's land. That bunt was not the best of bunts, but it was very efficient because it was popped up and now an infield single, and the bases are loaded for Brody Turnipseed. Turnipseed playing second base tonight for the Benton Tigers. Left-handed hitter. You're going to see some action in the Bearcat bullpen. Sam Speck and Max Piles going to make their way down. One advantage point. Toby, we can certainly see all the action in the bullpen tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we got bird's eye view of that, Nick, and you hate to see it bases loaded like this with no outs, but, Greek's been in this situation before.
So here's the first pitch to Brody Turnipseed. Left-handed hitter, number 1, plays second base for the Benton Tigers. The Tigers lead it 1-0. Bases are loaded with no outs here in the bottom of the second. One of the more raucous crowd the Bearcats have played in all year.
He fouled that one all the way back over into the girls' softball field.
So 1-1 evens the count. Check swing. They're going to check him, and they say he win, and you hear the Benton crowd very displeased with that. Everything has gone their way. That's to bring out head coach Brian Beck out to talk to his squad. So 1-2 the count now to Brody Turnipseed. Our vantage point down the third baseline. Very big press box here at Benton, Toby, but apparently no room for you and I, so we're down the third baseline. But I can certainly understand with all the softball action.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a Dixie ball game back at the old ballpark. All we're missing is the Hankey family and a snow cone and a corn dog.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's different over here. It's not like it is, at our house, but needless to say, it's not a bad place to play baseball.
Now, 1-0 is 1-0 the score here. Benton leading Ruston. 1-2 the count to Brody Turnipseed. Nice breaking pitch from Greep. Not sure where that was, but now going to even the count at 2-2. Greep on the mound for the Bearcats. Senior left-hander.
And, for us too, Nick, it's different for us, being so far away from the action, trying to see everything. But it looked like a really nice pitch from Greep.
That one a little low, going to make it a 3-2 count. Don't want to give a free run here to Benton.
No, we've talked about it all year too, Nick. I mean, free passes and errors, they just come back to haunt you.
The first two guys, runners at third and second, both reach via base on balls. And down at first base is Cannon Greer with a bunt single. Now a 3-2 count for the senior left-hander, David Greep. Greep delivers, and it looked good, but
nice bat flip by.
I'm glad you caught that because J.P. Moak ejected on a home run, and now we just had a guy get a RBI with a walk, and that bat flip was more egregious than J.P. Moak's. But Benton now leads it 2-0. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the bottom of the second, and really just not a good start for the Ruston Bearcats. Cade Bryant, first baseman for the Tigers, going to step in. Another left-hander. That one's low and away, not even close, 1-0. So Greep struggling. And, Toby, that's something, quite frankly, we haven't seen this year.
He's always, been a little bit behind the batters, but has always done a good job of working his way back in there. But, so far just can't find the strike zone.
That one's in for a strike, evens the count at 1-1. Not doom and gloom, but these two teams will face off tomorrow at 1 p.m. We'll have that game on Q94.1 in the Bearcat Nation Network. Now you hear the Bearcat faithful thinking, hey, that was a strike. Benton glad it wasn't. Bearcats thought it was. And 2-1 the count to Cade Bryant. Blackout over here at Benton tonight. Bearcats in the gray unis. Red numerals trimmed in white. And that was low. 3-1 the count.
Yeah, and you could see the frustration on Griep up there. I mean, and, you really can't blame it. I mean, he's just having a tough time. Just kind of needs to try to focus back in there and just work on getting the first out of the inning.
Senior left-hander will play next year collegiately at South Arkansas and El Dorado. Played for the Stars, but certainly doesn't want his Bearcat career to end. 3-1 count. And that one looked good. That was put into play. Jackson Lee coming on. They nearly collided. Runner's going to tag up. He's going to be in safely, so give a sacrifice fly to Cade Bryant. Benton now leads it 3-0. Boy, miscommunication in the outfield, Toby. That was almost another collision with J.P. Moak.
Yeah, I mean, when you see Jackson Lee lose his hat, he's coming full speed. And, if they'd had a little better communication, we'd been able to, get the out at home also.
Because they were crashing and had to stop, the momentum was at a dead standstill.
Yeah.
What Toby was talking about, catch it moving forward and make the throw at the plate. But to get the out, runners in first and second. Now the home run hitter, Case Jordan, back up for the Benton Tigers. Leadoff hitter, they turn the lineup over here in the bottom of the second inning. Nick Brown and Toby Nations bringing you second round of playoff baseball from Benton. And I think that's at some point Brian Beck's going to come out and talk about the artificial noisemaker because the horn is being blown, and that's not an excuse. That's just part of the rules of baseball.
Yeah.
But when he goes in, puts his hand into the glove, you'll hear the horn blow once or twice. That's certainly distracting. And there's the pitch. And that one gets away from Lander Smith. Runners are going to advance to, I guess they're saying it hit Case Jordan.
Yeah.
So Jordan hit by the pitch. He led off the game with a home run, now hit by pitch, so he's 1 for 1 on the day. Bring up the left fielder, Hayden Millen. He struck out his first time up.
Yeah, and Grief's just going to have to try it. Well, you see Beck going up there to talk to the home plate umpire. I'm sure it's about the horns, especially when he's trying to pitch. But, I mean, he's really just going to have to try to block that out the best he can before, the umpires do something about it.
Well, watching for love of the game to get in the spirit of this playoff, clear mechanism. Billy Chappell needs to come out here in Benton. Griep on the mound for the Bearcats, trailing the Benton Tigers 3-0 here in the bottom of the second. One out, runners at first and second. Going to bring the infield in now.
Yeah, and Grief's just having a tough time, trying to find the strikes on him.
He just can't buy a strike.
Yeah, he can't. Just having a really tough time trying to get it over home plate.
Runners at first and second. And third. Bases are loaded. Only one hit in the inning for the Benton Tigers, and that was a pop-up bunt. That's in for a strike. 1-1 the count to left-handed hitter Hayden Millen.
Yeah, just too many free bases so far for the Bearcats.
Millen striking out his first time up. It's going to be 2-1, another ball for David Griep. Now you can hear the crowd in the background here. That ball's put on the plate. Peyton Martin Fields throws the plate. Get him out at the plate. So great job from Peyton Martin. Out of way to stop the bleeding. The senior shortstop fires home to Lander Smith for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, good defensive play by Peyton Martin. And even Lander Smith, I mean, he was looking up trying to maybe fire it to first to double him up. But, it just didn't happen.
Now batting number 16, Cole Snell. Snell popped up his last time up. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Benton leads at 3-0 over the Ruston Bearcats. Nick Brown and Toby Nations bring you this second round of playoffs from the Wood Marine broadcast booth on Q94.1 and the Bearcat Nation Network. Runners at first and second now. Greet looking down to Smith, getting the signal. Breaking pitch. Looked good. Boy, the delayed count, and that's something new in baseball this year. You see a lot more of it, and that's that delayed count. But 0-1. We'll take it. Swing and a miss, strike two. A lot of Bearcat fans made their way over. Unfortunately, haven't had a lot to cheer about here in the early going.
Yeah, and there you go with Grief. I mean, finally, he starts ahead of the Benton batter, with no balls and 2 strikes. I mean, he just hadn't been here very much with these guys tonight.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. And I want to tell you, to only give up 2 runs in this inning, we played 2. Benton leads the Ruston Bearcats 3-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds on Q94.1 and the Bearcat Nation Network.
Dan and I started Cummins and Fitz in October of 2018. We were both practicing family law and identified a need in our community.
A divorce is often one of the most traumatic and stressful experiences of a person's life. As family law attorneys, we are dealing with divorce, custody, child support, spousal support, and community property petitions. We understand that these issues are complex and that our clients need personalized, focused attention. We hope that you'll trust us when choosing who to represent you should you find yourself going through a divorce.
I'm Brett Brown, and when I want fireworks, there is only one place I go, and that is Family Fireworks. Family Fireworks supports all Ruston High activities. John, Barbara, Jim, Jennifer, and Philip Ford are all Ruston High graduates. Family Fireworks is located at 116 UPS Road off Highway 33 in Ruston. We are the tent in the back. Just like you celebrate Bearcat and Lady Bearcat victories, come celebrate your firework holidays with us. We have been making memories for over 20 years. Come have fun with Family Fireworks. Ford family says go big.
Welcome back to Benton, Louisiana. Nick Brown along with Toby Nations. As the Bearcats coming to hit, see if they can answer. Benton leads it here in the top of the third, 3-0. This is a best 2 out of 3 series. Play again tomorrow at 1, but there's a lot of baseball left here tonight, Toby.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Nick, the Bearcats really, they dodged a bullet there with the bases loaded, and, Benton was only able to get 2 runs across, and, it's just going to be interesting to see what our bats can do. Our last 4 batters, I mean, Thomas Allen has struck them out, and he's thrown 25 pitches. For 20 of them have been strikes, so he's done a really good job so far for Benton.
Out stepping in for the Bearcats, left-handed hitting designated hitter tonight. That is Caleb Hampton. Hampton is a guy a minute ago. He was out trying to move the defense in. Maybe they couldn't read Coach Kerm. He came out, was giving signals, really just to see this student athlete really get himself involved in baseball his senior year. It's really been just a wonderful thing to watch. Let's see if he lays down a bunt here. So Caleb Hampton takes that one for ball 1.
Yeah, Caleb's just been a really good asset for the Bearcats this year. Really glad that he came back for his senior season to play baseball.
You meet it in as the swinging puts that one into play into left field. Left fielder struggled a little bit, but makes the catch and retires that. You meet so many students over the course of 31 years, but a guy that just brings a joy and a smile to your face every time you see him in the hallway, and that is Caleb Hampton. As he flies out to the left field, they're going to bring up the catcher tonight, number 10, Lander Smith.
Yeah, Lander going to try to get this lineup turned over for the Bearcats.
Lander looks at that one at a ball, 1-0. It's interesting because Lander kind of really moved down in the lineup. It wasn't really the hitting. I like what Brian Beck has done with that because your catcher comes in, gives him a minute to really set himself, swing, fouls that one off. Lander on the year. Get his batting average for you in just a minute.
A delayed strike called.
What a delayed strike call on that one. Thought it was low. But now 1-2. Lander Smith in the hole for the Bearcats. Going to hit that one down to third base. And he fields it cleanly. That was third baseman Cole Snell. Snell makes a good play, retires Lander Smith at first base. Now going to bring up for the Bearcats. Finally turned the lineup over. Boy, thought things were going great. Jackson Lee led off the game with a double, but unfortunately only made it to third base. Jackson Lee hitting .396 on the year. His on-base percentage is at .500. He's had 41 hits. 11 of them have been doubles, 5 triples. Finally got to call a home run for this Bearcat squad. That was J.P. Moak. He's on deck. That bitch a ball to Jackson Lee. Bearcats trail at 3-0 over the Benton Tigers. Delayed strike evens the count 1-1. That one in 1-2. So 1-2 the count to leadoff hitter Jackson Lee for the Bearcats. Doubled his first time up. Bearcat fans really quiet tonight. Not a lot to cheer about offensively. Going to swing that one up. Going to be a swinging, almost bunt foul ball fielded by the third baseman for the Tigers.
Yeah, Thomas Allen, that's 3 straight off-speed pitches to Jackson Lee.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Lee. Puts that one in play again, fielded by the third baseman. And that was Cole Snell with a play, and that's going to be all for the Bearcats in the top of the third. Bearcats pick up no runs on no hits. The Tigers committed no errors. We played 2.5, Benton 3, Ruston nothing. We'll be back in 60 seconds with more.
I'm Brett Brown, and when I want fireworks, there is only one place I go, and that is Family Fireworks. Family Fireworks supports all Ruston High activities. John, Barbara, Jim, Jennifer, and Philip Ford are all Ruston High graduates. Family Fireworks is located at 116 UPS Road off Highway 33 in Ruston. We are the tent in the back. Just like you celebrate Bearcat and Lady Bearcat victories, come celebrate your firework holidays with us. We have been making memories for over 20 years. Come have fun with Family Fireworks. Ford Family says go big Ruston.
First Ruston invites you to join them on Sundays at 8:30, 9:45, or 11 a.m. We offer kids worship at all 3 services. On Wednesday nights, students meet at the Powerhouse. Middle school students at 5:30, high school students at 6:45. Our mission is to help you find God's plan for your life in a fun, friendly, encouraging environment. For more church info or to watch our service, welcome back to Benton, where it's been all Benton Tigers here. Benton leads at 3-0 over the Bearcats, Toby. Just really, other than the leadoff double from Jackson Lee, hasn't been much offensively out of the Bearcats tonight.
No, Thomas Allen's done a great job for the Benton Tigers and just really haven't got our bats going since that double by Lee.
Due up for the Benton Tigers in this inning is going to be Jackson Jones. He struck out his first time up.
Nice
strike, 0-2 to
nice,
Jones.
Nice pitch by Greep.
Yeah, Jones 0-1 today on the afternoon, struck out. This is a late start normally for the Bearcats. Normally start these at 6. They want to give time for the softball game to end. That one flied up into right field, and Carter Love makes the grab. So 1 up, 1 down. Maybe things are beginning to change for the Ruston Bearcats.
Yeah, good job by Carter Love coming over to catch that ball.
But when you're successful, now batting's going to be Griffin Sibley, the catcher. Number 19, he walked his first time up. But interesting, Toby, the reason for the delayed start, you had softball. It is now ended. Believe that Benton lost in the softball game today. We'll get some scores from around the state in baseball in just a minute. That one fouled up out of play, and Nolan Parnell unable to make the grab on that one.
Yeah, the Benton third base coach, he took his time getting out of there.
He did, and I really think that Peyton Martin coming over to assist on the play, I think ever since the collision in the outfield, we've been a little apprehensive, and I mean understandably so, on the fly balls.
Yeah, they just got to talk a little bit more on that. That was Parnell's ball. Just didn't play it right.
It's a new life for Sibley. Swinging a miss, believe he fouled that one off. So, good-looking pitch now, off-speed pitch from David Greep, senior left-hander for the Bearcats.
Yes, he got Greep now. The first two Benton batters, he's been ahead of them 0-2. So, good job so far this inning by Greep.
That's a good 1-2 pitch. That one just seeing if you could get Sibley to chase.
Yeah,
he did not.
Went right through Lander's withers. Bounced off the backstop. But I tell you what, Nick, it's fun to watch. I mean, you got Benton fans all the way down first baseline, almost to the foul pole.
This one we were talking earlier on the way over today. You know, really, Benton made the move to 5A, made it to the playoffs a few years ago, came over the year. I believe the Bearcats lost to Destrehan in the quarters of the semis and beat them 56-16. That was the night of the onside kick of the Benton Tigers. That one's going to be ground to Parnell. He fields to see if he can make up for that play, and he does. So that one good for Parnell. Fires over to Simmons for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, good job by Nolan Parnell washing his hands. You know, getting that dirt off from missing that ball in foul territory. But going back to Benton, you know, they've just struggled in football late. I think they got a new coach coming in this year for football. But, you know, they're a really good baseball program, girls basketball, but have just struggled in football.
Designated hitter Colton Birdsong up. He walked his first time up, hits that one deep. Is Moe going to be able to make a play? Back to the wall, and he does. So the first clean inning of the night for the Bearcats. The Benton Tigers are retired. They get no runs on no hits. The Bearcats committed no errors. We played 3. The Benton Tigers lead the Ruston Bearcats 3-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds with more Bearcat baseball from the Wood Marine broadcast booth on Q94.1 and the Bearcat Nation Network.
Firmly founded since 1936, Pierce Lumber has been your go-to for quality building products in Ruston and North Louisiana. Whether you're doing a small project or building something new from the ground up, they have the products and materials you need from start to finish, including Benjamin Moore paints and No. 1 kiln and dried treated lumber processed locally by Midstate Wood Preservers. They carry tools from DeWalt, Milwaukee, Senco, and Ego Power Tools for the maintenance for your home. They are located at 1032 Burgessville Road in Ruston, or you can check them out on Facebook or Instagram. Go Bearcats!
Provision Security says go Bearcats and offers everything you need for residential and commercial security, camera systems, alarms, alarm monitoring, networking, audio, visual installation, and home entertainment. All cameras can be viewed on your smartphone as well as activating the alarm. Competitive rates and friendly service as we strive for perfection. Provision Security, preserving your past, protecting your future.
Building a life is different for everyone because everyone is different. That's why State Farm is there. Contact local agent Skip Russell for a quote today.
Welcome back to Tiger Field here in Benton, Louisiana. As the Bearcats trail the Benton Tigers 3-0. And Toby, time to make some noise. Only a 7-inning game, and now we go to the top of the 4th.
Yeah, good job by the Bearcats with a clean inning there. You know, a kind of a clean slate. You know, you're not going to get 3 runs with one swing of the bat, so you just got to just steadily work your way back into this ball game.
J.P. Moak stepping in for the Bearcats. That one in for a strike. 0-1 the count to Moak. Moak with the only home run the Bearcats have hit all year. Hits that one to pop up over second and short, and they decide the shortstop. Boy, nearly dropped it, but he didn't. So going to retire Moak.
Yeah, it looked like that ball almost rolled out of the bottom of his glove, Nick, but
Yeah, if you look at this Benton team, they're all tall and lanky and blonde.
Yeah.
First baseman Jake Simmons steps in for the Bearcats.
You know, the Bearcats just got to get something going with these bats. I mean, besides Jackson Lee, that's about the only thing that's happened so far.
Allen up in the zone, 2-0. One of the first times we've seen Allen really get down in the count. That one hit into the outfield. Left fielder Hayden Millen makes the play. And just like that, the Bearcats have 2 outs.
Yeah, Thomas Allen really hasn't had to work too hard so far in this inning. I mean, just a fly out to left and a fly out to the shortstop, and here we are with 2 outs.
I want to get you to get those pitch counts for me in just a minute, Toby, as now Nolan Parnell steps in. Takes a strike one, and that's not a bad take because your pitcher, David Grebe, hasn't had much of a rest.
No.
0-1 to Parnell. 0-2 to Parnell.
Yeah, Thomas Allen, he's thrown 42 pitches, faced 12 Ruston batters with 31 strikes. And I tell you, every time he throws, his hat falls off.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Parnell. He hits that one and it bounces off the mound. Going to see if he can beat it out, and it's going to be close, and he is out. Great hustle by Nolan Parnell, but the Benton Tigers make the play. Give the credit to shortstop Case Jordan. Makes a play, and just like that, the Bearcats go down 1-2-3. We played 3.5. The score Benton 3, Bearcats nothing. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Holland Real Estate Group has been serving the commercial real estate needs in Louisiana for over 30 years.
Because your business means everything to you, we know the importance of proper planning and location management. With our extensive knowledge of the area, we're able to create individualized solutions for our clients. We work closely with our community leaders to understand growth in the area. Ensuring successful win-win relationships for our clients is what we do best.
Headquartered in Ruston, Louisiana, Hunt Forest Products manufactures a variety of plywood lumber and other specialty wood products to meet a wide variety of building and manufacturing needs. Hunt Forest Products is family-owned and operated, practices sustainable forestry, and provides more than 400 Louisiana jobs. Hunt Forest Products is a proud supporter of the Bearcat football program.
And on a journey towards the best dentistry with exceptional care, you need travel no further than the heart of Ruston. There you will find the team behind Johnston & Murphy Dental Care. It's a goal built on the tradition of excellence established more than 60 years ago, a legacy in superior dental care and unparalleled customer.
Welcome back to the Wood Marine broadcast booth. Nick Brown along with Toby Nations, and so far not a good one for the Ruston Bearcats as they trail 3-0 over the Benton Tigers.
Yeah,
Cannon Greer stepping up he had an infield single. He had the bunt earlier. Cannon Greer had the bunt that was popped up, and a play made by really in no man's land, just a pop-up bunt. Landry couldn't get it in time, so an infield single for Greer. 2-0 the count. Good pitch from Grebe.
Yeah, the Bearcats just really haven't got anything going yet with their bats. And
you know what's amazing as you watch this game, and that's baseball. Only been 2 hits. You know, you think, hey, boy, Bearcats haven't done really anything. That bunt fouled off. Bearcats really haven't done anything offensively tonight other than Jackson Lee in the leadoff double. There have been 2 hits tonight for the Benton Tigers.
Yeah.
Solo home run, and then the bunt single. That's it. The rest have been walks and one person hit by a pitch. Bearcats have made no errors in the field. That one fouled off.
Well, Grebe has walked 3, where Thomas Allen, he has no walks with 4 strikeouts. So, I mean, there's your difference, Nick. The free bases, they just come back and haunt you.
Cannon Greer takes that one inside. 2-2 the count to Greer. And this is the type of environment you want your kids to be able to play in and experience with high school baseball. And quite frankly, it's the first time you've really been in this environment. Toby, you and I made our way over to West Monroe. It wasn't like this at all. That one's fouled off out of play. But this probably is the most hostile environment the Bearcats have played in all year.
I would have to say it is, Nick. I mean, traveling down to Ash, it wasn't like this. I mean, Benton's done a great job with their student body filling up a whole bleacher section, with noisemakers.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and the Bearcats strike out Cannon Greer. Lights finally come on here, full effect. We can see it a little better now. Going to bring up Brody Turnipseed. He's a second baseman, left-handed hitter. Of course, again, Benton, purple and gold, the Tigers. But tonight is a blackout, and all of their student body got the memo. Here's the first pitch from Greep. A little upstairs for ball one to Turnipseed.
That's a pretty good last name, Nick. I like that last name, Turnipseed.
Turnipseed got a base on balls RBI last time up with a nice little bat flip. Swings, fouls that one off. Again, it comes down to you get your offense going, Greep. With his early struggles with a walk, you're kind of settling in just a little bit, lasting in the first clean inning for the Bearcats. Oh, check swinging. They check him, and they say he didn't go. A 2-1 the count at Turnipseed. Left-handed hitting second baseman for the Benton Tigers. Tigers lead it 3-0 over the Bearcats. Here in the bottom of the fourth. That one's low. Gets away from Lander. No one on base, so no foul, but 3-1 the count. One out here in the bottom of the fourth. Great looking pitch from Greep. Now, full count, 3-2. There is one out.
Yeah, you can see Turnipseed there. He knew it was a strike, too, even though delayed call. He stayed put.
Allen hit foul out of play.
And it'd be interesting to look back, Nick, and just see how many full counts that Greep has been in tonight on Benton batters.
Fouls that one off. So good at bat for Brody Turnipseed. Number 8 hitter in the lineup. Oh, low and away. That one looked really good from Greep, but going to be ball four. So Turnipseed picks up his second walk of the night. And that's the thing about it, Toby, that's really frustrating. You're not walking the 1, the 2, the 3 hole. You're walking the 8-hole hitter, going to bring up the 9-hole hitter, Cade Bryant. And I tell you, Bryant's last time up, playing first base for him, sacrifice fly with the RBI. That's when he hit the ball that Jackson Lee and Moak really decided who it was and lost their momentum, couldn't get the play at the plate. Now, a throw over to second base. Really haven't seen a lot of steals or aggressive base running out of Benton because you really haven't had to with the Bearcats walking so many tonight. And did have a stolen base earlier, courtesy runner for the catcher a little earlier in the contest. Another throw over. Now Bearcats understand runs are at a premium. You're down 3. You've yet to score a run. One out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Yes, I mean, you just really haven't done anything with your bats yet, so you do not want to let them play another run here.
Good looking pitch from Greep. Well, umpire didn't agree with me. Going to be downstairs, 1-0.
I'm not even sure how much rain they got over here, Nick, but the field looks really good.
You go back and forth between the natural grass and the turf. Of course, the Bearcats play on turf, natural grass over here in Benton. Do have the turf halo. That one outside. 2-0. Number 9 hitter Kate Bryant, left-handed hitter, plays first base for the Benton Tigers. 3-0 is our score. Benton leadoff hitter tonight, Case Jordan, solo home run. Bearcats with several walks, and now they just stole second. Pickoff move. Did they get him? And the umpire says they did. He broke, read through to first base, but they were able to get Brody Turnipseed out at second base. So that's a great play now. 2-0 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Again, Toby, you look at this, you haven't done anything offensively, but you've only given up 2 hits.
Yeah.
So you got to take that and build on it when you come to bat in the top of the fifth, because you got 3 more at bats at it. You have 9 outs to get 3 runs. Out ground ball hit to Hudson Wood. He fields it clean, makes a throw over to Simmons, and just like that, the Bearcats are out of the inning. The Benton Tigers pick up no runs on no hits. The Bearcats commit no errors, and we played 4. Benton leads it 3-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds with more Bearcat baseball on Q94 and the Bearcat Nation Network from the outdoor edition of the Wood Marine broadcast booth. We'll be right back.
And on a journey towards the best dentistry with exceptional care, you need travel no further than the heart of Ruston. There you will find the team behind Johnston & Murphy Dental Care. It's a goal built on the tradition of excellence established more than 60 years ago, a legacy in superior dental care and unparalleled customer service. It's a journey worth taking and one we're proud to make with you. Come experience the best dentistry and exceptional customer service. Johnston & Murphy Dental Care. There's a story behind every smile.
When it comes to physical therapy, there's one name to know. That's Johnson Physical Therapy. And as always,
Louisiana National Bank is the official bank of Ruston High Athletics. As a proud community partner and supporter of local education, we're excited to cheer on the Bearcats. Experience uncommon banking today at Louisiana National Bank. To learn more, visit ln.bank.
Hey, I'm Max, and I take pictures for the Bearcat Nation Network.
What's up? I'm Dickenzie, and I run camera 2.
Hey y'all, I'm Clayton, aka Sparky, and I run your high center camera for the Bearcat Nation Network.
Hi, I'm Joey, and I run camera.
Welcome back to Benton. Nick Brown along with Toby Nations. The Bearcats trail at 3-0 here in the top of the fifth. And Toby, Bearcats need to start getting the bats and the offense at work here if you plan on winning this contest.
Yeah, like you were saying too, Nick. I mean, you know, here we are. I mean, you've only given up 2 hits to Benton, and you're down 3-0. So this game is very well, you know, within range of the Bearcats.
That pitch is now 2-2 the count. Called him out on that one. Looked like it was on the inside part of the plate. So Bearcats surprised at that one. That was Peyton Martin going to bring up the second baseman, Hudson Wood. And at what point does Beck go into his bag of tricks and just start bunting the baseball? Because the Bearcats not have any effect of the swinging tonight versus the starting pitcher for the Benton Tigers, and that is Thomas Allen.
No, that's 5 strikeouts that Allen has so far against the Bearcat batters.
He is the hardest throwing. That's 0-1 count. Been clocked as high as 93, but I'd say throwing in the mid to high 80s tonight. 88, 89. No radar gun, just a guy who's been to a lot of baseball games. That was an attempted bunt by Hudson Wood. That one was one of the bad pitches we've seen tonight. Looked a little up in the zone.
Yeah.
Not the one you want to bunt. Now Wood down in the count 0-2.
Yeah, Wood really need to try to get that bat back.
Allen threw that one high, just seeing if Wood would chase. He did not. 1-2 the count now to the second baseman, Hudson Wood. Swing and a miss. That's the sixth strikeout on the night for Allen. The Tigers whip it around the diamond. Second baseman dropped the ball on the throw around, one of the few miscues the Benton Tigers have had all night. Going to bring up right fielder Carter Love. See if Bearcats going to put in a pinch hitter. You have to do something to give your starting pitcher, David Griep, a little break.
Hunter Soto.
Hunter Soto has ability, although Hunter Soto now stepping in to pinch hit for the Bearcats. Soto has 28 plate appearances. He had 24 at-bats. He's hitting .333 on the year. On base percentage over 400. He's had 8 hits, 7 of them have been singles, 1 double, 2 RBIs. He scored 4 times.
Well, you just have to do something here to try to generate some runs, Nick. I mean, Thomas Allen's just really kind of dominated the Bearcats so far.
That breaking pitch is in for the strike. That one up in the zone, evens the count at 1-1. Hunter Soto, the pinch hitter for the Bearcats. He's batting for Carter Love, right-handed hitter for the Bearcats. Love to see Hunter take one deep here and get the Bearcats on the board. It's a deep fly ball to center field, but not going to be deep enough. The center fielder is under it, and he makes the play. That was Cannon Greer. And Greer makes the catch and retires the side. The Bearcats get no runs on no hits. The Tigers committed no errors and no runners left on base. Listen to Bearcat Baseball on the Q94.1 in the Bearcat Nation Network from the Wood Marine broadcast booth. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Hi, I'm Murphy DeMoss, and welcome to Tip of the Week. It's crucial to know when it's okay to have your tire repaired and when it should be replaced. If a tire loses air pressure, it must be removed from the wheel for a complete internal inspection. Tires that are run underinflated or flat for even a short period of time can be damaged beyond repair. See your pros for your tire repair today and experience the difference at Walpole Tire and Service in either Ruston or West Monroe.
Hunter Smith, class of 1999, and Josh Beckham, class of 2006, are firmly founded. Contact us for 2 Bearcats who will be a trusted advisor in your next sell or purchase of recreational, investment, or hunting property. Go Cats!
Hey y'all!
Unfortunately, trail the Benton Tigers 3-0 with a great contest here. Pitching duel here. You look at the difference. There's only been 3 hits in this game, Toby. One of them a solo home run for the Benton Tigers and a bunt single and a leadoff double for Jackson Lee, the only offense we've seen tonight. And that one gets away from Jake Simmons, and the runner's going to head into second.
Yeah, Parnell dove hard to his left. Peyton Martin had to come around it, then made the throw. It was a little wide of first base. Jake Simmons did a good job of trying to lay out for it, but just couldn't get to it.
A little extra ads for you here in Benton, Louisiana. As to Toby, you can describe what happened on that play. That one just got away from Jake Simmons on the throw from Peyton Martin.
Yeah, it got away from Jake at first, so the Benton runner was able to get to second, and now you have Coach Beck coming out to the mound to talk to his defense.
Yeah, there's nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth. Benton does lead it 3-0. They ruled that one a hit. I don't think that one was quite a hit. The shortstop made a play on it, throw it to first, but we're not the official bookkeeper.
No.
But they gave the Bearcats an error as well, so only 2 hits tonight for the Benton Tigers. Can't have both on one play.
No.
So we're not the official book, but
well, it was a good hustle by Peyton Martin trying to get that ball, and like I said, Nolan Parnell laid out for it, but just weren't able to come up with it over at first base. Just a little wide throw. So now you have Benton to lead off here with a runner on second base. The Bearcats are down 3-0.
Bunt coverage in full effect. That one good block by Lander Smith. Peyton Martin over to cover third. Nolan Parnell crashing hard. Jake Simmons crashing hard from first. Your second baseman moving over Hudson Wood to cover first base.
Yeah, good to see the Bearcats moving on that.
As Hayden Millen, so far tonight, he has struck out and flied out to the shortstop. So runner down at second. No bunt being shown, but you're going to crash anyway on that one. I suspect the bunt. Good looking pitch from Grief. Little delayed called on that strike. Like it here for the Bearcats. 1-1 the count. Benton leads it 3-0 over the Bearcats. 2 hits on the night for Benton. 1 for the Bearcats. Very clean game. You're one of the top pitchers in North Louisiana. He signed with ULM. Great job of blocking the bunt. Blocking the pitch from Grief was Lander Smith. Parnell down at third base, ready to catch the throw.
Yeah, nice job by Lander right there. Keeping that ball in front of him, keeping the runner at second base.
Runs at a premium. You're down 3-0. You've had one base runner all night. That was the leadoff batter. So you can't let Benton extend this lead. Here's the 2-1 pitch. I believe the artificial noisemakers, the kazoos, the horns, and we're getting a little bit fatigued here as we move late into the evening. Late start tonight. Game started at 7. Make way for Benton softball playing right next to us. Leave rain down south. We don't have a lot of scores to report. There's the bunt. Gets a great bunt down. It is fielded by Grief, but he has no throw. An excellent bunt. Just a beautiful job of hitting by the Benton Tigers. Great bunt.
Yeah, wasn't much you could do with that. He laid it down right where it needed to be, and they did what they needed to on that play by getting a hit on a bunt and moving the guy over to third.
That's just textbook baseball. Now runners at first and third. Runners at the corners. Nobody out. Bearcats trailing 3-0. It's going to be Cole Snell stepping in to bat for the Benton Tigers. Cole Snell, the third baseman. Millen with this great bunt for Tigers. Runners at first and third. Probably look for Benton to put the wheels in motion. There he goes, a pick down to first, but they're not going to get him at second. Just let him go. One where Grief with a slow delivery to the plate. By the time the runner breaks, he throws to first. The runner's 3/4 of the way to second base. So great decision for Simmons not to throw the ball down to second base to allow the runner to score. So the infield going to come in a bit, try to cut off number 6, Case Jordan at the plate. So here is the first pitch to Snell. It's in for a strike. 0-1 the count. one going to be fouled off down the right field over by the Benton dugout. Great play. Throws the ball in, so 0-2. Greep ahead of the hitter, Cole Snell. Three to nothing. Benton Tigers leave it over the Ruston Bearcats. That one in the dirt gets away from Lander, and that Benton Tigers are going to score a run. Wild pitch from Greep gets away from Smith. The lead increases to 4-0 over the Bearcats. Greep going back to the mound. 1-2 the count. To Cole Snell. Right-handed hitter. That one going to be popped up out of play. That pitch upstairs. 2-2 evens the count to Snell. That one upstairs as well. A little action down in the Bearcat bullpen. And Toby gets that pitch count on David Greep. See how many pitches he's thrown tonight here as we're in the bottom of the sixth.
Yeah, he's thrown 90 pitches, 49 per strikes, and has faced 20 batters.
That ball hit, popped up into the infield. Hudson Wood camping out underneath it, makes the play, and runner shows to tag and a throw over to third. One thing in the scouting report, very aggressive on the base pass or the Benton Tigers. Benton leads it 4-0. One out here in the bottom of the fifth. Jackson Jones stepping in. Struck out and flied out to right field tonight. Hits a shot down the right field line, gets past Simmons, going to go fielded by Carter Love. He's going to fire it in, but give a RBI to Jackson Jones, right fielder for the Benton Tigers. Benton now leads it 5-0 over the Bearcats. That's going to bring out a visit from head coach Brian Beck. We're going to keep it right here. Probably going to be close the book on David Greep as Benton Tigers lead it, Toby, 5-0. Only with 5 hits, take away 1, 4 hits on the evening, but yet lead the Bearcats 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it for Greep, being a senior, but I mean, he tried his best tonight. But free passes, I mean, they just kill you, Nick. And then what happens? You get some timely hitting like that, and there they scratch across another run. So
on the book on David Greep, he pitched 4 1/3 innings. He gave up only 4 hits, but 5 runs, and all 4 earned. 4 of the runs were earned. He walked 4 and struck out 4. That 1-to-1 ratio is what really does you in. You really need 2-to-1, 3-to-1 ratio, but
yeah,
a walk for every strikeout, and that's where we are. So Bearcats trail the Benton Tigers 5-0. Going to the bullpen, going to bring in, I believe that's going to be Sam Specht for the Bearcats. Right-hander, a little more submarine sidearm action, Sam Specht coming in.
Yeah, he won't have the velocity that Greep has, but his balls are just really hard to hit. Has done a great job for the Bearcats this year. He's one of their unsung leaders.
Well, I'm going to give you the book on Specht. He's pitched 22 1/3 innings this year. He's got a 3.4 ERA. He's appeared in 16 contests. He's faced 100 batters. Giving up 16 hits, 12 runs, 11 of them were earned. He's walked 12 and struck out 13, and he's hit 5 by pitch. Really close to that 1-to-1 ball to strikeout ratio. But really, you need to let him put the ball in play and let your defense work behind you.
And that's should what you get out of Samuel Speck. I mean, he's a little ground ball pitcher, fly out, and usually doesn't get in too much trouble with the batters. It's just Ruston's unfinally. They're in a hole here. Down 5-0. And
Game 1, Live Oak is defeated at Denham Springs 4-2, and they just started their second game. So Live Oak, the number 1 seed, over 16 seed at Denham Springs 4-2 in Game 1. North Shore, the 8 seed, defeated Walker 3-1, and the closer the numbers, you expect the games to be closer. So North Shore defeated Walker 3-1. Sulphur defeated Halton 2-0. That's huge. If Sulphur could defeat Halton, the Bearcats could come back and win this game or win the next 2. The Bearcats would host Sulphur, just when we thought that all the games had ended at Bearcat Field. Slidell defeated Northwood Shreveport 5-1. And the big news, really shocking, 11 seed Sam Houston won the first game over West Monroe 3-1 and won the second 5-4. So Sam Houston has won that series over the West Monroe Rebels. West Monroe eliminated. Natchitoches Central defeated Dutchtown 5-1. Well, Dutchtown defeated Natchitoches Central 3-0, so that'll force their game 3. Runner breaks for second. Smith going to throw down. He's in safely. And Central Baton Rouge, Barb defeated them 1-0. That's a 1/15, and 1-0 again. So Barb wins that series. So 2 series divided in round 2, Barb and Sam Houston. Suspect with that one, Griffin Sibley at the plate. He's the catcher for the Benton Tigers. Benton leads it here 5-0 in Game 1 in this best-of-3 series from Benton. And that's one thing about it, Toby. When you have a sidearm guy, you want to make him put the ball in play. He wants Benton to put the ball in play, but it's going to be real easy for you to get that stolen base. So interesting to watch Benton and see if they try to steal third up 5-0. Hit into right field. Carter Love with a late jump on it, but he's going to make the catch. Runner going to show like he's going, and boy, great throw in from Love. Little panic there for a minute. Thought that Wood was going out to make the play, but Carter Love came in and made the play, and there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, Sam Speck coming in doing what you need him to do, was just try to get some outs.
Throw strikes and let him put it in play.
Yep.
Colton Birdsong, senior utility, right-handed pitcher. He's walked and he's flied out to left field. And he's a designated hitter tonight for the Benton Tigers. This is what you want a middle reliever to do. Come in, throw strikes, make him put the ball in play, and there's a pop-up. They're having trouble adjusting to that sidearm. And over near the first base dugout, Jake Simmons makes the play, and that's all for the Benton Tigers. But the damage was done. Benton picks up 2 runs on 1 hit. 1 runner left on base. We played 5. Benton leads at 5-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds with more Bearcat baseball on Q94.1 and the Bearcat Nation Network from the Wood Marine booth, outside edition. We'll be back.
Hey y'all, I'm Murphy DeMoss at Walpole Tire and Service, and welcome to Tip of the Week. Did you know that maintaining proper tire pressure is essential for your vehicle's performance? First, it enhances safety by improving handling and reducing the risk of blowouts. Second, keeping your tires properly inflated extends their lifespan. And lastly, it boosts fuel efficiency, which saves you some money at the pump. Come experience the difference at Walpole Tire and Service at either Ruston or West Monroe.
Located at 151 Haddocks Road, Premier Storage of Ruston has the extra space you need. Their gated storage facility offers 24-hour access to climate and non-climate spaces with secure locks and video surveillance. Secure your space online at premierstorageruston.com or call 318-232-7973 for assistance. That's premierstorageruston.com.
Welcome back to Benton. Bearcats trail at 5-0, coming to bat. Sam Speck came in to pitch for David Greep. Bearcats gave up 2 runs, only 5 hits tonight for Benton. But, Toby, now is the time if the Bearcats are going to make any noise in this contest.
Yeah, I mean, you're running out of time, Nick. And, you know, Samuel Speck came in there for the Bearcats and did what you want him to do. But, you know, you're running out of time. You really got to try to generate something this inning. I mean, maybe not get it all, but get some of it going this inning for the Bearcats.
Well, you're looking at guys batting just for the second time, and that's Caleb Hampton, the designated hitter for the Bearcats. Takes 2 pitches low and away, so he's up in the count 2-0, and that's what Brian Beck is telling him. Hey, we need base runners, guys. We're down 5-0. We need you to get on base. Be patient. So here's Allen, done a remarkable job for Ben tonight. That one, boy, looked low to me, but going to be called for a strike. 2-1, and Beck looking down at home plate umpire. He's letting him know. And so now 2-1 the count to the designated hitter, Caleb Hampton, the highest batting average on the team. Hits that one to left field. He's going to burn the left fielder. Looks like it, and no. That's just a great play out of left fielder. That's what good teams do. They make plays. The left fielder for the Benton Tigers tracking that one down to get the speedy Caleb Hampton out. So good ball in play from Hampton.
Yeah, really good job. A good job by the left fielder just tracking that ball down, showing really good speed.
Yeah, that was Hayden Milling, who had an excellent bunt earlier in the night's contest. So good night for Milling at the plate and in the field. Now Lander Smith up. Takes strike 1. So 0-1 the count to Lander Smith, catcher for the Bearcats. Again, if you're just now joining us, appreciate you tuning in to Bearcat Baseball. Bearcats trail it 5-0. Benton Tigers.
Yeah, and all you can say that, you know, Thomas Allen, he's really pitched a gem of a game so far.
Signed with ULM, committed to the Louisiana Monroe, Federico, and the Warhawks. 0-2 to Lander Smith. And Lander just a great way to stay alive. Wouldn't want to be called strike 3, fouls that one off. Good piece of hitting by Smith, the catcher for the Bearcats. So 0-2 the count to Lander Smith. Bearcats trail it 5-0 to the Benton Tigers. You see why they're 37-3 on the year. Allen looked up in the zone, but no argument from Smith as he's going to trot on back to the dugout. I believe the 8th strikeout, 7th or 8th strikeout.
7th strikeout for Allen.
7th strikeout for Allen.
So he's thrown 64 pitches, 48 are strikes, and no base on balls so far, Nick.
We're batting in the 6th, and so it lets you know 7 strikeouts. Bearcats back to the top, going to be Jackson Lee. And if you would have told me after the leadoff double that would be the only hit the Bearcats had on the night, I would have told you were lying. But Lee back in now 0-1 with that foul that one off. Fouls that one off 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, Lee, the very first inning, I mean, I thought, hey, man, the Bearcats getting aggressive, swinging the bat. I mean, even flying out, but Allen has really settled down here and taking care of the Bearcat batters.
Allen upstairs, good 0-2 pitch from Allen. 1-2 to Jackson Lee. Bearcats trail at 5-0. Hey, this is a best-of-3 series, so there's 2 teams, if things continue to go south like they are, Bearcats will face Benton tomorrow at 1. Will be the home team. We'll have all the action right here on Q94 and the Bearcat Nation Network. There's a rip into left field, and Lee has his 2nd hit of the night. 2 hits for the Bearcats, both to Jackson Lee. Bring up the left fielder, J.P. Moak.
Yeah, which Moak's, he's popped out twice, but, you know, there we go. Hey, our 2-out hitting for the Bearcats. They've had some success this year with some 2-out hitting, and, you know, you got one of your better hitters at the plate. The man with the only home run of the season.
I think you look here, you must think with 2 outs, you think you're swinging for the long ball here. It's 5-0 to count. Lee over at first base. Maybe put the wheels in motion, see if you can force a bad throw. And
well, Moak could definitely get us a little bit closer with one swing of the bat.
Moak's hitting .351 on the year. 27 hits, 13 singles, 9 doubles, 4 triples, and, of course, the home run that we've talked about so much. There's a throw over to Lee. He's back in safely. Oak has an on-base percentage of .441. Does have 30 RPIs. Boy, love to see him pick up 31 and 32 here with a shot. 325 to right field. Short porch to right field. Take that one as low for ball 2. 2-0 to J.P. Moak.
Well, I can tell you this, Nick. The Bearcats aren't going to quit. That's one thing that's been under Coach Beck this year. These kids keep fighting and fighting. They've been down in a lot of ball games, and they've come back in a lot of ball games. So,
throw over to Simmons just to keep him close. 2-0 count to Moak. Moak steps out. They give him time on that one. It's a good thing Allen grew that one right down the middle. Would have been strike one, but a 2-0 count to Moak.
Yeah, Allen's worked really fast tonight, but he was taking his time there, and Moak has had enough and just asked for time. Glad they granted it, because you're right, Nick. It was right down the middle.
That one fouled off out of play over here in our area. Hit off the batting facility here at Benton. Nice park, natural field. So 2-1 count to J.P. Moak, left fielder for the Bearcats. 3-1, no, that one looked low in the late. Not a big fan of this delay call. Call it a strike, call it a ball, but taking your time doing it evens the count at 2-2.
Yeah, he looked like he was looking for change in his pocket, then even the count on Moak.
3-2, full count. And I will tell you, Toby, this is the first
I think it is.
Full count that Allen has had all night.
Well, like I said last year when the Bearcats came over here, they were able to beat Allen, and they got him rattled.
Nobody holding on Jackson Lee, so really Lee could go ahead and start off now. That's what Beck is telling him. Going back to the bag, Brian Beck is pointing to Jackson Lee. Look where the first baseman is. He's nowhere holding you on. So take a break, go. Fouls that one off. And really you look, Toby, at I know you're down 5 and 1 run doesn't mean anything right now, but easily opportunity for Lee to swipe second base. You don't want to get the runner thrown out here trailing by 5, but they're not holding you on. Get a massive lead, and Lee has great speed. And they're going to call him out on that one, strike 3, and Allen gets his 8th strikeout of the night. We played 5.5. Benton leads the Bearcats 5-0. The Bearcats pick up no runs on 1 hit, 1 runner left on base. We played 5.5. Benton leads it 5-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds. First Ruston invites you to join them on Sundays at 8:30, 9:45, or 11 a.m. We offer kids worship at all 3 services. On Wednesday nights, students meet at the Powerhouse. Middle school students at 5:30, high school students at 6:45. Our mission is to help you find God's plan for your life in a fun, friendly, encouraging environment. For more church info or to watch our services online, we invite you to visit fbcruston.org. We're saving a seat for you at First.
At GBT, we're more than just a bank. We're part of the community, and we're proud to cheer on Ruston High Athletics.
Whether it's on the field, court, or track, we're excited to stand by our athletes and celebrate their hard work and dedication. With GBT, you're always banking on a winning team. Go Bearcats!
Step into the winner's circle with a John Deere tractor from Goldman Equipment. Shop North and Central Louisiana's largest John Deere dealer. Goldman Equipment. We're not just in your field, we're in your backyard.
Welcome back to Benton as the Benton Tigers lead the Ruston Bearcats 5-0. Nick Brown along with Toby Nations. Little technical difficulties on the Bearcat Nation Network, but we'll keep the audio in check for you while we work on the camera. But Nick Brown and Toby Nations, and Toby, Bearcats 5-0. Sam Speck back out on the mound for the Bearcats.
Yeah, Sam Speck, last inning did a great job coming in and getting those outs, but, here we are. I mean, we need some outs to be able to get back over there, and hopefully we can generate some runs because we're running out of time here, Nick Brown.
You go back, as Sam Speck enjoyed watching him pitch for the Bearcats. I saw him a couple of years ago, came in as a sophomore, did really well, and then wasn't used that often. And glad to see him have a good senior year for the Bearcats. So Speck on the mound for the Bearcats. Good-looking pitch. I want to tell you, and I think that is something, Toby, that Brian Beck may think about as starting pitcher for tomorrow. You see, really, Speck is not the fastest, doesn't have the velocity. But if you're a team like Benton that has such hard throwers, that's what you see. And so maybe this changeup in speed is giving the Benton Tigers trouble.
Well, I mean, you see it. I mean, the kid was way out in front of that. They don't see much of that. I mean, not that Greep is just a barn burner, but, I mean, he throws, mid-80s, and then you bring Speck out there that's probably throwing about 72, 73 miles an hour, and it's got some really good off-speed stuff.
Now, Bearcats going to make a pitching change here and going to bring in, I believe that is Max Piles making an appearance for the Bearcats.
Yeah, good throwing lefty freshman. Has done a great job for the Bearcats. Falls through some injuries, but has starting to work his way back in there. But just a good young baseball player for Ruston High School. Really going to look forward to him the next few years.
I show him having 3 appearances, really only 1 inning pitched. 7 ERA. He's faced 6 batters on the year, giving up 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned. It was 1 run. It was earned. He's got 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. So let me give that book again on Piles. Now the left-handed freshman making an appearance for the Bearcats. And I would tell you here, Toby, you look at it, we'll keep it right here, with the Bearcats trailing 5-0. You got to start about building the future. You're not giving up on this series at all, but you want to get experience to a young player. This is going to pay dividends for the Bearcats down the road. But Piles in, left-hander for the Bearcats as they trail 5-0 over the Benton Tigers.
Well, also pulling Speck out with 7 pitches. I mean, he's eligible for tomorrow. So
correct.
I mean, that's a good thing too. I mean,
well,
maybe like you were saying, Coach Beck saw something there. It was like, hey, maybe we can pull him out because we're going to have to play the game tomorrow regardless if we win or lose this game.
Well, we're not doom and gloom, but we're opportunistic realists. And you're down 5-0. You've had 2 base runners all night, and he's not coming back again in the lineup. So you know what? If they're having trouble hitting Speck, let's save him when the game is – and I'm not saying this game is not winnable,
right? But
it could be a lot closer. So here's the first pitch from Piles, and he delivers, well, what I thought was a strike, but who knows what I know. That one 1-0 the count. I'm just not a fan. That was called a strike, but the delayed strike, just not a fan. 1-1 the count.
Ball must be missing just a little bit outside. It's hard to tell from this angle.
We're not at the best vantage point.
No.
We're at the only part that they allowed us to come into the game, so we're thankful for that. But look good from Piles. That was a little foul over play, and Toby, you and I can almost make the play on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that one went right over the dugout. I thought it was coming at us, Nick, but
2-2 the count. Piles looking good on the mound. Freshman left-hander for the Bearcats. Now a little bit outside. Full count now.
Yeah, this is going to be a great experience for Max Piles.
This is Brody Turnipseed hitting for the Benton Tigers. Hits that one in a gap, and that's going to roll all the way to the fence. Going to be easy double. Going to go for 3. Bearcats going to have a shot at third. Martin gets it, throws over, not in time. So a triple for number 1, Brody Turnipseed.
Yeah, he just drove that right into the gap. Bearcats did a pretty good job of getting it in, but, old Turnipseed showed some speed there.
Well, he did, and that's one thing you'll learn as a freshman, 3-2. He really threw that one, grooved it just a little bit too well. And Turnipseed, and that's what good teams do. They make you make plays, and Turnipseed put that one in. Now the number 9 hole hitter, Cade Bryant. Bryant's had a sacrifice fly RBI, and he ground out to Hudson Wood earlier in the contest.
can hear the bazoos again. I guess that's what those called, Nick. But I will say this: they did it when Allen's on the mound too. So they've been consistent all game.
Now, that's one where the Bearcats, the Benton Tigers showed suicide squeeze with, or safety squeeze rather, with Cade Bryant at the plate, left-handed hitter. Parnell crashed. Turnip Seed really caught in no man's land, but Martin wasn't at third base, so Lander Smith couldn't make a throw down. See if it's still on. Nice pitch from Pyle. Left-hander freshman looking good on the mound for the Bearcats.
Yeah, it'd been nice if we could have got Martin over to third to cover because he was stumbling and bumbling trying to get back to third base.
The 2-1 count to Cade Bryant, the 9-hole hitter for the Benton Tigers. They lead the Ruston Bearcats 5-0 in the bottom of the 6th. That pitch in for a strike. Nice one from the freshman. Showing a lot of poise on the mound is the left-hander Max Piles.
Well, Max is one of those kids. I know he's young, but he's got a really good baseball IQ, and he understands the situation.
Nice young man. Actually held the door for me today when I was going to lunch duty.
Well, I mean, he respects his elders, Nick. He's raised right. His parents have raised him right.
A full count again. Let's see where Piles does with this payoff pitch. Delivered the last one to Turnip Seed. Far too good. That one fouled off. Better look, and that's learning. Brought that one in low and away. Didn't leave that one up in the zone. So 3-2 count. We're going to do the payoff pitch again. There is one out for the Benton Tigers here in the bottom of the 6th. They lead the Ruston Bearcats 5-0. The 6th run 90 feet away. 3-2 count to Bryant. And it's upstairs for ball 4.
And that's one thing you've seen tonight out of the Bearcat pitching staff. I mean, we've gone long in the counts with these Benton hitters, and, you know, Allen from Benton just hasn't done that. So it hasn't paid off for Ruston High tonight.
Well, Case Jordan stepping in. He's hit a home run. He's been hit by a pitch, and he's singled. So a good night for Case Jordan. Led off the game with a home run for the Benton Tigers. So flip the lineup over. They're back to the leadoff.
Yeah, Jordan's probably one of the best players on this Benton team. You know, he's got a really good bat, and the play that he made behind second base, I believe getting Nolan Parnell at first was just a really big-time play for Benton.
There's a pickoff. Bearcats going to fake it. Now throw over to third. Air mails it. Oh, a lower throw might have had him. But a good job by Parnell to get up and get that ball. Great-looking play.
Yeah, we had him there. Just the throw was way too high from Simmons to Parnell, and Nolan did a good job jumping up and catching it, trying to get the tag down, but just not in time.
And Dalen Powell has entered the game in left field for the Bearcats. So set the scene. You got Dalen Powell in left field. Center field, Jackson Lee. Right field, Carter Love. Third base, still Nolan Parnell. Peyton Martin at shortstop. Hudson Wood at second. Jake Simmons at first. Freshman Max Piles on the mound, and Lander Smith behind the dish. Bearcats going to put the runner on. Going to put Case Jordan on down at first. So the bases are loaded. Set him before us at home plate.
Yeah, and I really don't think that's a bad thing there either, Nick. I mean, he's kind of hurt you tonight with the bat in his hand, but, you know, you don't.
Well, he's 2 for 2 and was hit by a pitch his third time up. So, no, not a bad idea at all. And so now you're going to bring up the number 2 hitter. That is Hayden Millen. Millen with a great bunt earlier in the contest for a single, but he struck out. He had a fielder's choice and a bunt single. And he looks at a strike from Piles.
It is kind of fun to watch Max on the mound like that, knowing the situation, and it's not too big for him. Here you are in a second-round playoff game with the bases loaded, down 5 in the top of the 6th.
Good-looking spot on that one, a little bit outside. Lander Smith's going to go out and talk to him. Not sure if mixed up on the signals that he's giving him, or just to calm him down, let him know, hey, you got this. 1-1 the count. To Millen. Millen had a great catch in left field earlier in the contest.
Yeah, showed a lot of speed out there.
Swing and a miss. Good looking off-speed pitch from Piles.
That was a nice off-speed pitch there by Max.
1-2 the count.
I thought he was going to double swing on that one, Nick.
So 5-0, Bearcats trail. Bases loaded, bases full of Benton Tigers here in the second round of the playoffs. Game number 1, Nick Brown, Toby Nations. And that pitch a little bit outside. Good looking location for Piles. Not going to leave one up like he did to Turnip Seed earlier in this inning. 1 out, 2-2 count to Hayden Millen, left fielder for the Benton Tigers. That's a ground ball hit up the middle, and all Bearcats have the infield in, so it's going to plate a few runs. Lee going to field it, throw it to third. And now over to first. Air mails it, so Benton's going to get runs a lot of ways. That throw's going to come into play, and Lander's just going to hold the baseball. So a base hit up the middle, scored 2 runs. Bearcats throw it to third on the skip the cutoff man, throw it to third to keep the runner at second. And Bearcats Pardell threw it over to first, airmailed it over Simmons' head. So 2 runs are scored, and 7-0 is our score. And let's give Millen the single on the play.
Yeah, you kind of watch that, and you're like, oh, man, please, wheels do not fall off the bus here. And here comes Coach Beck out to talk to his defense.
Now, when you had the infield in, you had the bases loaded, and ball went just up the middle just a little bit. And at this point now, you realize it's probably not going to happen tonight. You want to save your pitchers. You want all arms on deck for tomorrow, what you hope to be 2 games. So any pitcher tonight is going to go short and save it so they're available for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen, but you're down 7 here to Benton, and so all you're doing is just running your bullpen in there. Give them a little bit of experience. You never know what will happen tomorrow. You're going to need these guys tomorrow because if you can win game 2 tomorrow, guess what, Nick? You got to play game 3. Looks like it's going to be Colt Larry. Which Colt, he hadn't pitched in a while. I mean, he's had some arm issues, but I believe he's back healthy. So it'll be some good experience for him to come out here in the second round.
Colt Larry, part of that 100 Oaks pitching crew.
Yeah. Hey, there's some baseball kids that live around that area.
Hey, 100 Oaks and Briar Hill turned out some good baseball players, but you're not going to close. You close the book on Pyle. You still have Millen down at second base. I think you come in, you see you got some playoff experience under your belt now.
Yeah.
But now you're available for tomorrow. Same thing with Sam Speck. Speck looking good on the mound. He's available for tomorrow. So really, all of your pitchers are available for tomorrow minus David Greek.
Yeah, and, the thing with Max there, I mean, the infield's in. I mean, so you're not there at double play depth, so the ball did squirt by, but still, I mean, not a bad deal pitching there for Max to come in there and, being a freshman and, not being in this situation before to get this kind of experience. And I tell you another thing I like the body language on the Bearcats. I mean, they're not holding their heads and the agony of defeat or anything like that. They're still continuing to work, and I just think that's a reflection on Coach Beck and his coaching staff, how they prepare these kids to play the game of baseball.
Looking at Colt Larry, Toby, he's been in 14.2 innings. He has a 1.90 ERA at 10 game appearances. So he pitched 14 2/3 inning, been in 10 ball games. He started 1 game for the Bearcats. He's faced 64 batters, only given up 13 hits on the year, 9 runs. 4 of them have been earned, 4 base on balls, and 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's had some success. He's one of those young kids, sophomore, that the future is really going to be bright for him. And, he's a really good kid, too. I mean, I know Colt pretty good. And, the other night we'd ordered AJ a bicycle. So I told Peyton, I said, hey, man, take the bicycle out of the box and go over to Colt's house and you and him put it together. Well, Peyton rolls the bike back in the house. The handlebars are on backwards. Everything is wobbling. And I was like, man, out of all the kids I know, I figured you and Colt Leary could get this bike put together. But AJ wouldn't have made it down the driveway if he tried to get on that thing.
Hey, I saw him riding the bike, and
he
stopped by the house.
He calls it his hog.
Let's adjust your seat. It was a little low for him.
Well, I'm trying to get them legs in shape, Nick.
All right, now on the mound for the Bearcats, Colt Larry. He's facing Cole Snell, third baseman, and he's played a good game. But really all the Benton Tigers have played a good game tonight. That's what good teams do, and the Bearcats certainly are a good team as well. And they'll take a miracle here down 7 against Benton. Benton still threatening, only one out here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch from Larry is down the middle for a strike. So Cole Snell, third baseman for the Benton Tigers. Cowbells, kazoos, horns, all of it made an appearance tonight in Benton. Swing and a miss. Good-looking pitch from Larry. He's ahead in the count, 0-2.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's not some rocks and cans up there too, Nick. I mean, which they concreted everything, I believe, the last couple of weeks. So
Going to be a defensive adjustment for the Bearcats. I believe that's going to be number 3. Is that Freeman entering the contest for the Bearcats? Freeman going in as second base.
Yeah, and then Ruston moved Dalen Powell out of left field, so we don't have a left fielder here.
The Bearcats playing with an extra infielder. Freeman in at right in the bag. So you've heard of the shift. So only 2 outfielders for the Bearcats. Now we're going to be popped up out of play. So in left center you have Jackson Lee, and in right field you have Carter Love. So big.
So I guess they bring Kendon Freeman in. He's between.
Freeman came in to play the middle infield position.
Yeah.
So, like, when you say a player plays middle infield, he's legitimately playing middle infield.
Yeah.
So, Bearcats, I thought Hudson Wood was coming back. No, Hudson Wood is between first and second. So, Simmons at first. Hudson Wood in between first and second. Right in front of second base is Freeman. Pemar at short. Parnell at third. And on the mound is Colt Larry. 1-2 the count. To number 16, Cole Snell. It seems like this has been like a 30-minute at-bat for Cole Snell. Allen popped up. It'll be fair or foul. Bearcats giving it a chase.
They're calling it foul. They're putting him back to third.
Did not catch the ball, so therefore a foul ball. All the runners are going to go back. So did he catch?
No, he didn't catch the ball. So it was just a foul.
Well, no, this is a new batter up. They've given him another run, 8-0.
Huh.
So he's down at second base. Yes, it was a fair ball. We can't see from our vantage point, and we do know that we've lost the camera on the Bearcat Nation Network, so the Bearcats going to intentionally walk another and load the bases.
So do you put your left fielder back in with the bases loaded?
I saw J.P. Moak coming out of the dugout, so we shall see what the Bearcats are going to do. 8-0, the Benton Tigers lead it over the Ruston Bearcats.
Here comes Moak back into the game.
So Moak is headed back to left field. Jackson Lee making his way back over to center field. Freeman making his way back to the dugout. And Carter Love in right field. Infield is Nolan Parnell at third base. Peyton Martin at shortstop. Hudson Wood at second base, and Jake Simmons at first. On the mound is Colt Larry. And the second half of the battery is Lander Smith. And the bases are loaded for the Benton Tigers, leading at 8-0 over the Bearcats here in the bottom of the 6th. Only one out. And really, Toby, the thing about it now, what you're looking at, a base hit probably is going to end this ball game with a 10-run rule.
Yeah.
That pitch is down and away, 2-0 the count.
So it just hasn't been the Bearcats' night. You know, nothing really has gone right for them.
29, Colt Larry on the mound for the Bearcats. 2-0 pitch. That one's fouled off out of play. That's number 19, the catcher, Griffin Sibley. So Sibley at bat. Base hit probably ends this contest. 2-1 the count. Colt Larry on the mound for the Bearcats.
That ball misses low, 3-1. So, I mean, Nick, you know, you got bases loaded. You're down 8-0, 1 out. You know, like you were saying, anything in the gap.
Yeah, anything in the gap, a base hit's going to be the ball game.
Yeah.
3-1, here's the count. You don't want to walk the ninth run, so here's a 3-1 pitch, and it's fouled off out of play from Griffin Sibley. We do realize that we've lost a picture on the Bearcat Nation Network, working on that, but appreciate you joining us on Q94.1 and the Bearcat Nation Network from the Wood Marine broadcast booth, the outdoor edition of the Wood Marine broadcast booth.
Yeah, this is definitely the outdoor edition.
So here's the full count, the payoff pitch. A walk is going to move Benton one step closer to run ruling the Bearcats. So here's the 3-2 pitch from the sophomore. Fouled off again. We'll do it again.
I tell you, Nick, you know how you're in the outdoor calling a baseball game when you can smell a skunk. You know, I mean, we're definitely in the outdoors because you can smell the skunk over here in Benton.
Yeah, not sure if that's a skunk you're smelling.
Well,
Griffin Sibley at the plate for the Benton Tigers. We're going to do the payoff pitch one more time. Nick Brown along with Toby Nations. Bearcats trailing in this one 8-0. The second round of the playoffs, the best of 3 series. And that was a deep fly ball, but it's going to be way, way foul. And good chase from J.P. Moak.
well, down in this ball game 8-0. I mean, but hey, you got to come back out here. They're going to have to beat us tomorrow. So it's not like it's all the way over. The Bearcats have some more opportunities. They just kind of need to regroup, refocus, and get ready for tomorrow.
Absolutely. So here is the 3-2 pitch again. Interesting to see with 1 out. So see if Benton cranks the motor up and try to get that extra run home to run rule the Bearcats here on this Friday night. That one low and away, and it's now 9-0. Benton leads it 1 run away from a run rule in the Bearcats. Bearcats need a double play in the worst kind of way. And that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Colton Birdsong. He's walked tonight, flied out to left field, and struck out. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. A little pop-up over to first base. Simmons giving it a play. Hustle, dives, makes a catch. Runner tagged up, and the Bearcats have just turned a double play.
Oh
my goodness. He did not get in. You could tell the umpire's ready to go. Beck's going to come out and argue the play. You don't want to get ejected here, so you're available for tomorrow night. But that's going to do it for the Bearcats. A pop fly, little bloop over to first base. And Simmons hustles, makes the play, fires the home plate. It certainly looked like the Bearcats got him at the plate, but they're going to say that they did not, and that's going to be it for the Bearcats. The Bearcats are run ruled tonight, defeated by the Benton Tigers 10-0. Your final score again, Benton 10, Ruston 0. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Q94.1 and the Bearcat Nation Network, and we'll be back from the Wood Marine broadcast booth. We're going to take a 60-second break, come back and wrap things up here from Benton right after this break. Thought you gave the battery. Did you give the battery to the Honda?
Step into the winner's circle with a John Deere tractor from Goldman Equipment. Shop North and Central Louisiana's largest John Deere dealer. Goldman Equipment. We're not just in your field, we're in your backyard. Thank you for calling Goldman Equipment. How can I help you?
Headquartered in Ruston, Louisiana.
Ball to the Benton Tigers, 10-0. Benton Tigers picked up 8 hits. The Bearcats only 2 hits on the night, Toby, both from leadoff hitter Jackson Lee.
Yeah, that was pretty much all the offense the Bearcats had tonight. I mean, you just kind of have to tip your hat to Thomas Allen. I mean, he shut the Bearcats down. I mean, 75 pitches, 55 were strikes, and Ruston just really couldn't do much with it. Now the good thing is that, hey, Greek won't be able to pitch tomorrow, but you got Samuel Speck. He only threw like 8 pitches. You got Max Piles. He threw 18 pitches, and Colt Leary threw 13. So they should be available tomorrow because, you're going to have to win game 2 to have game 3, and you're going to need your bullpen to do that. So, tip your hat to Benton tonight. They came out here and played a really good game. They pitched well. They played good defense, and the Bearcats couldn't get it done. But that's why it's a 2 out of 3 series, and we're going to come back over here tomorrow at 1 o'clock and see if we can get us a win and push it to a game 3.
We're going to take our final break, then we'll come back and wrap things up from Benton as the Bearcats fall in the second round of the playoffs in the first game. It is the best of 3 series, so we're going to do this again tomorrow at 1 o'clock and hopefully force a third game. But we're going to take our final break. We'll be right back to wrap things up from Benton in 60 seconds.
Headquartered in Ruston, Louisiana, HGA is a full-service project management and engineering services firm providing professional services to clients throughout the U.S. and overseas. HGA builds long-term client relationships by listening to clients, leveraging the experience of its professional team, and delivering on its commitments. HGA is a proud supporter of the Bearcat football program.
Holland Real Estate Group has been serving the commercial real estate needs in Louisiana for over 30 years.
Because your business means everything to you, we know the importance of proper planning and location management. With our extensive knowledge of the area, we're able to create individualized solutions for our clients. We work closely with our community leaders to understand growth in the area. Ensuring successful win-win relationships for our clients is what we do best.
Headquartered in Ruston, Louisiana, Hunt Forest Products manufactures a variety of plywood lumber and other specialty wood products to meet a wide variety of
Well, a long night for the Bearcats as they drop in the first game of this best of 3 series, 10-0 to the Benton Tigers. But, Toby, I think you got to give credit to the starting pitcher for the Benton Tigers, Allen. Just really, Bearcats showed no answer, only getting 2 hits on the night, both from leadoff hitter Jackson Lee.
Yeah, the Bearcats really just couldn't do much with him, and he was a strike thrower. He threw it hard, and, the Bearcats just didn't have an answer, really couldn't get anything going. And, the Bearcats were in this game. They were in this game until this last inning, giving up 5, giving up 2, and just, Benton eventually just tic-tacked them to death. Just took too many runs away, and you just couldn't get back in it.
I think when you look at it when it was 3-0 after the first 2 innings, I think the Bearcats really felt they had a shot. But as the innings went down, Allen just got stronger. If you're Brian Beck, where do you go from here? Is it looking at manufacturing runs? You're going to win this series, you're going to have more than 2 hits in the contest.
Yeah, 2 hits isn't going to get it for the Bearcats. So I'm sure Coach Beck, he'll have a long drive back to Ruston, and he'll get these kids regrouped. He's already huddled them out there and talk to them. And I can tell you about these kids, they'll fight. I mean, they're not just going to lay down and say, hey, we had a great season. They're going to come back over here tomorrow at 1 and give Benton a little dose of it.
Absolutely. Again, our final score, Benton wins this one 10-0. Look for the bullpen, look for the starting pitcher tomorrow. We don't have that information. Certainly the coaching staff will get to work on that, but all hands should be available tomorrow, minus David Greep, a tough outing for the senior left-hander who's given us so many great moments throughout his career as a Bearcat. But we look forward to bringing you this game tomorrow. We'll be right here at 1 o'clock on the air at 12:55. Game will be on Q94.1 and the Bearcat Nation Network. Toby and I will be outside in the Wood Marine broadcast booth, the outdoor edition. Appreciate Matthew Carswell running the camera tonight. I know we've had a few technical difficulties. We'll have those ironed out. And to Colin McDonald on the stats. We certainly appreciate you and all of our sponsors. Until tomorrow at 1, have a good evening, everyone. Again, your final score, Benton 10,